It's finally time to back squat again. And I feel that I've been ready for it for the past few months already. It's just that the program, the way it was set up until now, I didn't really want to make any changes because everything was moving pretty smoothly, even considering the injuries, which were part of the reason why I overhauled it back in the first half of last year, mainly to deal with this rotator cuff injury that plagued me since April 2022, and which also was one of the main reasons why I stopped doing back squats and focused a bit more on the front squats, because the position where the back rack position, even though I am not squatting low bar, was giving me discomfort in the shoulder, and I didn't really want to make the situation worse by aggravating that with heavy isometrics in a back rack position while doing heavy squats. So I moved away from the back squats for quite some time, and now that I feel that my shoulder is fully rehabilitated, I do not feel discomfort in any sort of day-to-day movement, just occasional instability, which I'm keeping an eye on, and I hope that is going to go away progressively as I do not upset the tissue. I feel like it's time to go back into the back squats, which are one of my favorite exercises, and I am excited to get back into these. But of course, I was very cautious with that. So after a warm up and a small ramp up, as I was doing also some high pulls and some arm work, I devised kind of a giant set that was ending with squats. And I ended up doing two of these with 70 kilos. So both of these sets were not to failure. I was probably like quite a few reps away from that, but that was not the point of the session or reintroducing the squat here, because what I wanted to get was some exposure to the movement again. And when I'm looking back at it, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, I definitely lost some depth and confidence in the movement. Definitely my back could be a bit more upright, but I noticed that my foot positioning was all right. I didn't notice any sort of weird movement in the low back, and the reps looked solid and proficient. At least I didn't lose too much. And yeah, granted, it was a lightweight. It's slightly below my body weight at the moment. I weigh about 76 kilos. So I just wanted to get a few decent repetitions in, just to kind of regroove myself into the movement pattern, which is slightly different than the front squat. And also because of that, I feel like it's a bit more lenient on my leverages, so I don't really need to get any extra heel elevation. The way that I'm performing the back squat up until when I was doing it consistently, I was able to get into a decent position that looked pleasing to the eye, whilst also being an efficient movement pattern that I could load progressively. And in here, I was noticing that the arm work was a bit lackluster, probably because I started off with an explosive exercise in the form of the high pulls, which I wanted to pair with the squats for a while now, and I wasn't really able to find a way to do so. I'm thinking that if I have a session like this that kind of prioritizes the lower part of the body and kind of relegates the upper part to only arm work, which is not really heavy on compound movements and just takes into account mainly isolation stuff, I should be able to get all of these in one giant set that is somewhat synergistic, and it allows me to get two main movements and something extra to throw on top of it just to get some extra volume. But I will be focusing mostly on the lower part of the body if the session ends up being something that I feel like it's worth adding to the program, which I am still thinking about how to rehaul again to account for the new developments. I'm excited about that. Ciao.